We need to change how we think. As Muslims, we dress differently. As Muslims, we eat differently. But we don't think differently. Our mind is around that pound note sign. Jo pound ki piche hum padte na, we run after the money. Just to give you एक example आपको देता हूँ, just one example. If I was to give you a job, एक नौकरी देता हूँ आपको. I give you £10 an hour, I say for 1 month, £10 an hour. Now it's not a good wage, it's not a bad wage, £10 an hour. ठीक है? But on one night, इस महीने में एक रात, I'm not going to give you £10 an hour. I'm not going to give you £100 an hour. I'm not going to give you £1,000 an hour. I'm not going to give you £10,000 an hour. I'm going to give you £300,000 per hour. अब ये बताएं कौन छुट्टी करेगा? And I'm not going to tell you which night it is. I'm not going to tell you. This is a secret. I'm not going to tell you which night it is. How many people will take a day off? Nobody. And if at the end of the month you did take a day off, and at the end of the month you got your wage slip and it said that you were on holiday that day, that you missed that day, how angry would you be with yourself? कितना दुख होगा? लेकिन ये बताएं कि इतना दुख है मिसिंग लैलतुल कद्र? No. परवाह नहीं है. ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. कितने दुख की बात है. That we're more concerned about making money than making good deeds. Shab-e Barat, before Ramadan, the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said on that night, more people are forgiven than the hair on the sheep of the tribe of Bani Kalb. Maghfirat ki raat hai. How many of us came to the masjid? Ya Allah, please forgive me. How many of us? But if I was to make an announcement on this mic and the whole of Scotland was to hear me now, and I was to say, आज रात जो मस्जिद में आएंगे, उनकी तमाम कर्जे माफ हो जाएंगे. अब देख लो मस्जिद में कौन कौन नहीं आता. Masjid would be full. कितना अफसोस की बात है. That we run after money, we run after these things, but we don't run after what we should be running after. The Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like we heard, agar wo na the to kuch bhi nahi the. If it's the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he brought us Jummah, he brought us Ramadan, he brought us Laylatul Qadr, he brought us Shab-e Barat, he brought us Shab-e Miraj, he brought all these days, and all these days are for us to get closer to Allah Azza wa Jal. But we've wasted all these days. So we call ourselves Muslims, we call ourselves Ashiq-e-Rasul, but are we really lovers of the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Unfortunately, we're not proud. We're not proud of being Muslims. We say we are lovers, but we don't really love. Ek bacha, you know, he says to his mother, "Mother, I love you." "My mom, I love you so much." Mother one day says, "Beta, can you go and get me some bread and milk?" Beta कहता है, "Mom, I'm busy, but I love you." दूसरा दिन बच्चा कहता है कि "Beta, can you go to the shops and do this for me?" "No, I can't, but I love you. I love you." अब रोज बच्चा माँ कुछ कहे और बच्चा इनकार करे लेकिन कहे "I love you, I love you, I love you." This is not love, is it? This is not love. And that's where we are going wrong. Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we love you. We don't read our namaz. Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I love you, but I commit all these sins. Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I love you, but we don't fast during the month of Ramadan. Is this love? No. So to love is not just lip service. To love is not just lip service. It's not just enough to raise the highest nara in the masjid. That's not enough. You may have the strongest voice, your voice might reach everybody, but that's not true love. Love is in your actions. Love is how you live your lives. Love is what you do with yourself. So you need to change, and you need to be proud of yourself. And we all need to change. You know, when you ask somebody, why do you commit a sin? Why do you commit a sin? Why do you drink alcohol? Why do you commit adultery? Why do you smoke? They say, I enjoy it. I enjoy doing these things, that's why I do it. My dear Islamic brothers, remember this. Whatever sin you commit, whatever sin it is, if you enjoy it, the pleasure that you get from smoking, from drinking, from committing adultery, whatever pleasure you get, that pleasure disappears after a short period of time. What stays with you? The sin stays with you forever. Getting up in the morning at Fajr, when your bed is nice and warm, the boiler doesn't work in your house, it's raining, the masjid boiler doesn't work, the radiators aren't on, it's freezing, it's shivering, it's cold. That pain, that shivering, all disappears. What stays with you? The good deed. So never commit a sin for the sake of pleasure, because that pleasure will disappear, the sin will stay with you forever. And never leave, koi neki na chode. Don't ever leave a good deed for the sake of hardship, because that hardship will disappear and that good deed will stay with you forever. My dear Islamic brothers, be proud of who you are. I'm talking to the youth mainly now. Be proud of who you are. You need to be proud of who you are. You need to have that iman inside you, that when you go out into this world, when you're at college, when you're at university, and somebody says to you, come on, we're going to a party tonight, are you coming? There's going to be drink there, there's going to be girls there, are you coming? You need to say, no, I'm a Muslim, I don't do that. Be proud of who you are. You need to be proud. You need to stand up for yourself and be proud of who you are. Because if you are not proud of who you are, nobody will be proud for you. And why should we not be proud? We are the best of creation. We are the best ummati. We are so lucky. You know, and the other thing is, we are so lucky, all of us in here, the majority of us in here. I look around and I think 99.9% of the people in this room, we were all born Muslims. How lucky we are. What about those people that even today sacrifice? Ya Rasulullah.
MashaAllah.
My dear Islam brothers, the Almighty Rahman now with us. Just finish with one quick thing. When I mentioned that the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I leave you the Quran in my way. I mentioned the Quran with regards to the way of the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Sunnah. When you tell people that this is a Sunnah, that is a Sunnah, the youth of today, they say, well, okay, well that was 1400 years ago. That was Arabia. That was then. It was different climate, a different country. You know, it's not practical today. You know, give me the reason why. I want to know why, what, where, why. When yes, I sawal puchte. They ask all these questions. Just leave you with one small waqia. Let's ask Sayyidina Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq why. Sayyidina Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq, let's ask him why we should follow the Sunnah of the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was once riding a camel. And as he's riding the camel, he does this. What is this? He was the Amir al-Mu'mineen. I said, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, what are you doing? And he said, I once saw the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sitting on his camel. And as he was going past this place, he did the same thing. And that is why I am doing it. They said to him, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, when the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was amongst us, there was a tree here. And there was a branch there that was sticking out. And the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the reason why he lowered his head, because if he did not lower his head, the branch would have hit his blessed Imam Sharif. But now that tree is so high, the branches are all the way up there. There is no need to lower your head. Sayyidina Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq said, I don't care whether the tree is there or not. I don't care whether the tree is there or not down there. All I know, my Aka did it and I did it. Ab batao logic kya hai? Logic nahi hai. Ishq hai. Ishq. So the true lovers of the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they don't ask how, they don't ask why, they don't ask what, where, when, they follow. And as Muslims, what we need to do, and this is why we are feeling, isliye hum kamzor hain, that we are not following the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We're not closing our eyes and following him. We're thinking too much. And we're leaving the sunnah of the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Just one final waqia I want to give you. In Europe, there was a battle between the Muslims and the non-Muslims. And the Muslim army was coming from Istanbul, going to Vienna, and it stopped at a place called Belgrade. And in Belgrade at the time, there was a fountain in the middle of the town. And there was somebody at the top of the hill, and he was watching the Muslim army, and he said to himself that wherever this army goes, it is successful. I need to do something. Mujhe kuch karna hai. So what he decided to do is he decided to get all of the beautiful women of the town together. Got them all to put nice clothes on, to put the makeup on and everything, and he gave them all a bucket. He gave all the women a bucket and he said to them, look, the time for Salah is approaching. The Muslims, they will go to the town centre to perform the wuzu. When they do, you go down with a bucket in your hand. So it looks like you're collecting water. And talk to the Muslims. Distract the Muslims. Get them interested in you. Make them stay behind with you. So the time for namaz came. The Muslims started to perform the wuzu. The women came down the hill with the buckets in their hands. And when they got to the bottom of the hill, one Muslim Sipahi, he saw the women and he made a signal to all of the rest of the Muslim army, and the whole of the Muslim army. Now the women have nobody to talk to. They can't talk to the backs of Muslims. So they went back up the hill. That person at the top of the hill, he wrote a letter. He wrote a letter and he sent it with the fastest horse. And he sent it to the army that the Muslims were facing. And in that letter he said, run for your lives. You will never, ever, ever defeat this army. Now the question I want to ask you, what did he see? Did he see F-16 bombers? Did he see tanks, Kalashnikovs, thousands of army? No. He saw the haya of the Muslims. Afsos ki baat, that a non-Muslim, he realized that the true strength of a Muslim is his hiya. And the hiya is what? The kirdar of Rasul. He realized that the true strength of the Muslim is in following the sunnah of the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but we don't realize this. He realized that these people, we cannot defeat them because of their kirdar. He realized and he sent a letter to say, look, run for your lives, you will never ever defeat them. We need to remember who we are. We need to remember what the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam brought. We need to remember what the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam left for us. And we need to follow it and adopt it. And until we don't, we're going to be in the situation that we are today. So my dear Islam brothers, as I said right at the beginning, when they asked, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when will I love the Prophet? It will be when you follow his orders, when you observe his sunnah, when you love the people who love him and hate the people who hate him. That's what we all need to do. I pray to Allah Azza wa Jalla, if I've said anything wrong, may Allah Azza wa Jalla forgive me. And I pray to Allah Azza wa Jalla, Allah give me the tawfiq and you all the tawfiq to love the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as he should be loved, and follow the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as he should be followed. Ameen bi jahi Nabi.